Here we go. Welcome everybody to Tech Talks. I'm Victor here with Julie, and this week we actually have quite a few things. The major thing would be the Xbox conference that was brought up, and not about the games though, more about the technology that is coming to Xbox and Microsoft and the things around there. That is going to be relatively new. The competition with Stadia, because Stadia announced and launched, I think, actually at this point, or at least the beta launched, where it's not having the greatest of reviews. No.
Well,
And then there's a few other side things as well that were thrown in throughout the week. So we will get started once I open up the
list of the things.
First off, just so I don't forget this, because I didn't put it on the list per se, is this kind of a continuation onto the syncing. I wanted to clarify a few things about the syncing between Microsoft and Google.
Wait, Microsoft Outlook?
Yeah, Microsoft Outlook and Google. Last week we talked about a lot of the things that you could do to remedy the fact that at any point your services, your Google services specifically is what we were talking about, but it could go the other way around too if your Microsoft account or if you have Yahoo or AOL.
It's not a bad idea to back up.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea to have kind of a sync between the two. So we talked about how Microsoft and using Microsoft and Google specifically creating a synchronous process. Now, a lot of what we discussed will not auto sync though. It'll sync once. And
once when you do it?
Yeah, once when you do it. And then you just have to every now and then periodically make sure you resync if you use one or the other. So if you use Edge or you use Chrome and you want to make sure that your passwords are being saved from one to the other, you would have to periodically make sure that you go back and sync them. Email will automatically sync because you create a link with that. And there was actually just an article now that we read that Outlook is bringing more functionality from Gmail to Outlook to help better that sync situation. So I think overall, like, this seems to be something that Microsoft is looking into at the same time as being a compatibility service, right? They want to just try to work with Google. They're building an Android phone even. Like they want to be able to work with Google, and in the process, it makes it easier for us to play the total line per se, like walk the fence on that one. And the other thing was services that are reflective of Google Photos, because and we didn't have like a good solution for backing up photos, and there's still not a great solution for backing up photos, unfortunately. They're just Google Photos is kind of like the best thing right now outside of iCloud. And what happens, the reason why is Google Photos gives you unlimited storage for videos and photos.
Question?
Yeah.
Unlimited number, but not unlimited resolution, correct?
That's true. If you want the original resolution quality, that would be taken part of your drive storage, but Google Photos still keeps everything in 1080p quality.
Drive?
And that's for videos. And yeah.
Drive has limited?
Yeah, Drive has a limited amount of storage.
Oh.
I think every Google account gets 1 gigabyte of Drive storage. And then from there, you could pay for more storage, or there's even the OneDrive.
Can you search for duplicate? Say you get to your full point. Can you search for duplicates within your files and then be able to reduce and pare down that way?
I don't know if they have an easy way to search just specifically duplicates outside of if you know
if the name was the same.
If you know the name, then you can just type the name, but I don't think they have a specific way of checking for duplicate files though.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So there's not a lot of great options. The closest thing I found to a cloud service that does it is Amazon Photos. I think they have unlimited if you have part of the Amazon Prime, but it's only unlimited photos, not unlimited videos.
Mm.
And really, the best thing that I've seen so far, outside of this is outside of third-party applications. I'm sure that you could find a third-party application somewhere. But the best thing that doesn't involve any third-party application or programming is there is a site. Oh man, what was it called?
Did you not write it down?
I don't think I wrote it down.
Oh, why?
There's a site that you can download all of your Google data though.
Oh, I think we
haven't
heard of this a while ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I vaguely do recall
Let me just
that.
look it up.
I don't remember if we talked about it on this show though, or if that was something that came up more at home.
Takeout.google.com.
Okay.
And you can select your photos, and you can just set yourself a reminder, like a yearly reminder, and it'll just download. It'll create an archive, and then once the archive is created, it'll send you an email, and then you can download that zip folder.
Oh, of all of your photos, so you can at least easily download the photos
Yes.
now. Okay, because remember, see, I didn't know.
But it's
that.
it's a two-step process, and it's not automatic. You would have to, I don't know, on a yearly basis or monthly basis,
Sure.
re-download it. And I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it doesn't discriminate against what photos or time frame. Maybe you can select the time frame actually, now that I think of it. But yeah, there is a way for you to download in mass. It's just kind of a longer process and not automatic. But that's kind of right now where we're at when it comes to downloading the things. And that's the best way to keep your photos, is to download them to a computer, save them on a hard drive or an external hard drive.
Okay.
And that brings us to stuff for this week that we want to talk about. So let's start with the Xbox.
Oh, Stadia.
Yeah, so Xbox right is part of the Xbox conference. They were talking about Xbox features that were coming, and the right now the big thing is Google Stadia and Xbox and the new Xbox Scarlet project, which is going to be the new Xbox, whatever they call it. The PlayStation 5 is also being built, and a lot of what the technology of the future when it comes to gaming is streaming gaming and gaming online and the whole shebang that way. One of the advertised features is gaming on all your devices, from your phone to your tablet to your laptop. And a lot of companies are doing that by streaming them all, so that you don't have to have a powerful phone or a powerful laptop. You could just stream the games to your phone. Yeah.
You know the tiny little chips that you use for like Nintendo Switch, for example?
The memory cards?
Yeah, like the micro SD size
Yeah.
that we have when we want to play those games and we just insert it in there. Why can't we just have all games on a micro SD and then you can just pop it into your computer or whatever device and it go across devices that way? Wouldn't that be so much easier? And or have SD cards that can store a library of games on one tiny chip, and then you can just move that little chip between devices. Why can't we do that?
Number one, the devices are not all the same. What runs on your computer will not run on your phone because they're different architecture, they're different powerhouses, they're altogether different things.
So when they say streaming on all your devices, they really only mean the games that are made for multiple devices or computer and phone.
Well, when it comes to streaming from multiple devices, what they're doing is they're having one device as the primary, which is usually a computer, but I think with Microsoft, they're using Xbox architecture. And then that is just sending an image to your phone.
Oh,
So it
really...
doesn't, so it's not actually being played on your phone. You're just seeing an image of what's being played.
And it's not on all devices as much as phones.
It'd be on phones, tablets, laptops, computers, Xboxes, however, or wherever you want it. And there's right now, Stadia is being talked about as kind of the Netflix for games. And that's not a very accurate description, because when you think Netflix, you're thinking like you pay $9.99 a month, you get access to all the movies, and you can just pick whichever movie you want and stream it, and it's not going to cost anything more than that $9.99 a month.
Or whatever the price may be.
Or whatever Netflix might be. Yeah. The way Stadia works is you specifically buy the games that you are playing. They are full price $60 games that you pay for one at a time. You don't get any download for it. You don't get any, you just get it. I have to buy a controller too, which is another $130, I think.
What do you mean buy a controller for every game?
No, just for the Stadia.
To have the screen as your phone and the controls on the controller that links or syncs or whatever to your phone.
Yeah. And then you pay for each game. They have a subscription service where you can get discounts for games. And they said that you also get free games, whatever, like on a monthly basis, very similar to how Xbox Gold and PlayStation Now does it, where if you're part of the subscription, every month they get like 2 free games. But you still are paying for all the games that you are getting through the service themselves. You're not just paying a subscription fee and then getting access to a library of games. Now, Xbox has a direct contrast to that, which is actually more akin to the idea that of Netflix for games, and they're calling it the Xbox Game Pass. And what it does, if you get like the Ultimate Edition, is it gives you Xbox Game Pass for both computer and Xbox. It's cross-platform, so a lot of games that are cross-platform between the two you can play on either one. And even then, sometimes when it's an Xbox game, Xbox has an emulator that you can, well, not an emulator, but it has a way that you can stream Xbox games from your Xbox to your computer. So you can still play on the computer, even if it's an Xbox game. And there's just a library of games that you get access to, and you can play them. They also announced during this press conference, which is kind of unprecedented, that it will also have PlayStation 4 controller support or DualShock support, which assumes that maybe even the PlayStation 5 controller that they will support. And this is, I thought, a more closer to Netflix for games than Stadia is. On top of that, like the games that you do pay for, if you do pay for them, because this is just aside from the fact that you can buy an Xbox console and Xbox games separately, right? Like you could choose one or the other. You can get the console and the games, or you can get the console and the Game Pass. You have a question? Or?
I just don't know enough about video games to chime in on any of this. I don't know. It doesn't sound like the thing for me to be streaming. It's just my opinion, and I'm also not well versed in this topic, so I'm listening and nodding.
The Game Pass is actually not streaming anything, because when you get the game, you download them to your console and then play them on your home console or your computer.
You download it, but what if your computer crashes? Do you never get it, or do you have, like, if you write down like a code or something, or what? How does that work?
So it's very much like Netflix if your computer crashes while you're in the middle of streaming
Oh,
Netflix.
it's associated with like a cloud-based
Yeah.
archive of your materials.
Well, you will get access to a cloud of base of materials, right? So when you subscribe to the Game Pass, they say, all right, you have access to this library of games.
So it is
Pick a game.
streamed
It'll
still.
download it.
Okay, so
No, you don't need to stream
it downloads short term, but doesn't that eventually eat up your memory on your device?
Yeah, but as soon as you're done, you can delete it.
But once you delete it, isn't there still like a little bit of your thing that's always...
No.
Okay. I don't know.
That goes more into the hardware side of things, which is like for the most part we just will not like worry about it. No, that's not something that you have to worry about.
Okay.
But yeah, they download it to your computer or your Xbox. It's if you get the Ultimate Edition of this, which because usually it's if you get the Xbox Game Pass for computer, it's $9.99, or if you get the Xbox One, it's $9.99
per month.
Yeah, per month. But if you get the Ultimate, it's $15 a month. And it also comes with Xbox Gold, which is the same thing as the PlayStation Now, which is you get to play online, use the online Xbox Online features, and you get 2 free games a month.
Do you get to choose what 2 games, or it's just
they decide random. To come out.
Sometimes good games, sometimes crap.
Yeah.
Also, opinions play and factor into that, I'm sure.
Yeah. From what these days, they've been pretty good games because they have to compete with PlayStation's version of Xbox Gold, which is the PlayStation Now. And they have to compete together. So if one of them has good games and the other one consistently doesn't have good games on this free game thing, quote unquote free, because it's $15 a month, then you like obviously people will end up going one place versus another.
Right.
So they're usually pretty good games. Like I have not complained about the games because I'm part of the PlayStation ones, and I think we just we just got like The Last of Us or something like that. I don't.
Oh, I do think I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
And I still haven't played it, so someday I will.
And it is $15 a month for 2 games that are often way more than $30.
So like $180 a year, which is the equivalent of three $60 games, right?
It's equivalent of like
that.
$360 games. It's also less than an Xbox itself.
You get 12 games for the equivalent of 3, but you don't get to pick them, so you may end up with overlap if you've already purchased those games. It sounds like they might tend to be older games sometimes.
Yeah, usually they're a bit on the older side. They're generally not brand new ones that come out. But then with the Xbox Game Pass, you can play brand new ones because those are part of the library of games that you get access to. Now, the games that you get access to is just a huge library of games. I think they even have old Xbox 360 games and stuff. I have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure that you get access to just this stupidly large library of games that Windows has access. Huh?
Okay.
It's compared to Stadia's like 6 games, I think that it has at launch or something.
That's rough.
It's pretty good. Like I would argue the Xbox Game Pass is definitely like a better value.
It sounds like it.
Because you don't have to worry about streaming it.
I'm still listening.
Don't have to worry about streaming it. Because you can just download the games. You get 2 free games a month that you get to keep. And you get the Xbox Gold.
Is there anything more about this?
There's a second half to this, which is the Project X Cloud. Now, this is throwing in the streaming service to that system.
Who makes this? What's
Project X Cloud is still Xbox.
Oh, okay. Which is Microsoft.
Which Project X Cloud is... Huh?
I need like a chart to be able to write all this down on.
Project X Cloud is now taking that method of the Ultimate and adding the fact that you could stream them to any device that you want, including your Xbox or your computer, or your phone or anything else.
Is this live? Has that launched, or is it
This
a
is
theory
in beta
making?
and people that have it in beta have said that it's actually pretty good.
And fast and reliable.
Yeah, they've said that it's been pretty fast and reliable. This is the difference here is that it's not a standalone service with. I mean, it could be a standalone service, but it's not the only option that you have from Microsoft, right? You could go the traditional route of buying an Xbox, buying games at $60 a piece, and playing offline. Like sometimes games need updates, or sometimes games are only online, but playing, just like a normal way. You have the option of getting an Xbox. And I'm saying Xbox, you could get a computer too, but those are a lot more. I'm going based off of like budgeting, kind of. If you have the option of getting an Xbox and then getting the Game Pass and then never buying a game from the store again. You just go based off of whatever's on the Game Pass.
And Game Pass is 10 a month, 120 a year equivalent.
Yeah.
Is there a tax on top of that?
But I would still argue that you want to go for the full Game Pass, because most people even have a laptop that they could utilize some of the features on. So, and like $5 a month for gold membership, the gold things, I'd still say get the $15 a month Game Pass. I don't see there's a reason why to get the $10 a month one.
Because the difference is 2 games versus no games, you're saying?
Yeah.
For $5 more a month, $60 more a year. The price of one game, you get 24 games per year.
Yeah.
I see, okay. Sure. Man, I tell you though, if you're done here, I'll interject this tidbit.
Sorry, no, there's a bit more. So those are 2 options that are being like presented by Microsoft. And then they're saying, if you want to, you could also forego the Xbox altogether and just get their streaming service. And they haven't priced their streaming service yet, but they also said it will be working with, they will have a bundle for the Game Pass users if they want that too. I imagine that means the Game Pass, once the streaming service comes live, will be actually a little bit more. You have a question?
Sorry.
Oh.
No, yeah. It's interesting.
Okay, I imagine it might be a little bit more once the streaming service comes out, but they have just the straight up streaming service where you could just stream whatever games that you want to any device, no console necessary.
But you have to have the games.
No, the streaming service would be
their streaming service.
Yeah,
library.
platform. Like it would be Xbox's version of Google Stadia.
With a curated selection, or at least a selection.
With a selection of games. I
no
assume. No
promise as to curation quality.
I mean, I assume it's going to have the Microsoft platform games.
So those are games that are exclusive to Xbox?
Xbox and Microsoft, yeah, like because
they have ones that are exclusive to Microsoft on the computer.
Not usually. I think most of it is exclusive to Xbox, but
can you play Minecraft on an Apple computer?
I think so.
Okay, go on. Sorry.
Microsoft's been doing a good job of being inclusive.
They share. We like that.
Nowadays, they didn't used to, but as of what's happening and what we're seeing from 2019, it seems like they're being introduced the idea of sharing.
Yay!
And even between Xbox and computer, they used to not think of computer as a gaming platform, but now they're bringing Halo over to computer, the Master Chief Collection. Everybody's excited for. Pretty much, they have that feature where if you buy a game on the Windows Store on a computer, you can get access to it also on your Xbox. So you don't have to buy one for each device. You can just buy one and play it anywhere you want it. And I think they've been doing a really good job. So adding the streaming service into this, you could just do that, pay, get the streaming service, and forego the Xbox altogether. Just get Project xCloud. And that also is a fair option. I don't know what their streaming service is or exactly how they're planning on pricing it, because that's still very much down on the hush-hush. But assuming that you might need to get in order to get access to the games, or it's just going to be bundled with the Ultimate stuff, which is the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Let's say worst case scenario, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate gets pushed to $20 a month, but you get on Xbox Gold edition or Xbox Gold, Xbox Live Gold. You get the library of games, and you can stream them anywhere. At the end of the year, it's $240, which is for all of that, which is less than an Xbox, which you don't even need anyways.
Something to consider, I guess.
So
for
like,
those folks that
yeah,
want to.
I mean, I was thinking about it because I was like, if that was the case, if it's $20 a month for all of this, by the time like if somebody wanted to save up an Xbox and a game, they would be able to get an Xbox for usually they're $300.
Okay. For an older model or the new one?
For the new model. No, I don't know how much that new Xbox is going to be coming out, but right now, like, yeah, the Xbox One is $300, and they have a game for $60, or you could have had like a whole year plus without and getting the newest games, like a whole library game of games.
But this is not where you own them. This is where you're just
yeah, you wouldn't own them. You would just be borrowing.
But that is part of like the. Anyways, okay. So is there more information on this, or now have you gotten to the end of it?
Yeah, the Xbox information is done. So yeah. You said you had something.
I know I did. Do you think I still remember it? It was about, well, my opinion on this would be, and not important, but that's what it was.
I mean, your opinion is pretty important as the casual tech person that doesn't
like, this is streaming stuff. I guess that would be the thing. That was the point. I still don't like the idea of streaming stuff. I like having the game, even if it's just a tiny little micro SD game chip, or if it's a disc. I like having the physical copy of it there. Also, in part because of my memory, if I don't have the physical thing, it's like if I don't have a printed copy of a document, I forget that it exists. And so, especially if you have like a bunch of games, I would rather have those games in front of me. I mean, at the very least, you need to have a list. If you have this service, you've got to like print out a list of your games and post that on your fridge, I guess. That'd be my strategy, I guess, if you were like me and gonna go this streaming route. But I also, the whole idea that, so if you decided to do it for, perhaps if you were interested in trialing games, and you weren't sure you wanted to buy them, but you knew that the Game Pass or whatever had them, this could be a really good strategy that way. It's certainly cheaper to do like a $15 a month for a month or two, assuming you can do non-contract that it is month to month. And that would ultimately be cheaper than renting from Redbox for a week or two, or certainly for a month.
Yeah.
Some similar service.
It's a great service. Well, the streaming thing aside, with the Xbox Game Pass, it's great if you go through games a lot. Like if you pay a lot of different games, and you always want to get the newest game when it comes out.
If you want to trial games before you buy them, and you just want to do like a month or two trialing a variety.
Yeah, you still want to go through a lot. You wouldn't want to do it just for one game trial.
Right. At that point, then I would rather just buy the one game if you know what game you want.
Yeah, if you are the kind of person that just plays one game and that they play that one game for an entire year, then
probably not for you.
This is probably not the way to go. Because especially when it comes to just over time, like after 2-3 months, like you could have just bought the game itself. But it's definitely for those people that are becoming more in number, that are the ones that play lots of games. They always need, like, they'll play the newest game,
They're
they'll
addicted.
finish it, and then they'll play the next newest game when it comes out.
No, yeah, there are a lot of people that are really interested in games, and it is what it is. This is not my favorite topic. Like technology, I'm just not good at any of it, but there gets to be a point where like I'd rather play games than talk about them, and I'm not even that giantly big on playing video games. Like if I don't know, I'm too much my own ways.
But
Anyways.
that was the biggest tech things was the Xbox Game Pass and the streaming service Project xCloud, and the Stadia not doing so well. That I think
Yes.
I saw a video or a GIF of a guy playing on Stadia. He was playing Destiny. He hit the space bar for jump. I think he was playing on the computer. Anyway, he hit the space bar for jump, and then he took his hands off the keyboard. And by the time his hands were like up in the air, the guy finally jumped on the screen. The input lag was something that everybody was worried about, and it turned out that
it was there.
it was there. Like everybody was right that was.
Gonna be
And
a
I don't know
problem.
exactly what Project xCloud is doing to make it better, but people have said it's better. So that's about all I know. The other two things are a bit of side stuff. But we have Google is rolling out the RCS chat services. Now, this is essentially the way people are making it out is Google's version of iMessage, where a lot of people like the features of iMessage where you can see, when somebody's typing, and they have better video quality or image quality when you're sending it, and multimedia messages aren't like a separate thing altogether. It's Google is finally rolling out with this as one of their major services for their messaging service.
With the iMessage thing, it's only Apple to Apple communications that they can see each other typing. Like an Apple person can't see an Android person is typing.
As of right now, I believe that's the case, but I believe once RCS rolls out on a mass scale,
they're gonna make it more.
They're gonna
uniform.
make it more uniform, that even cross platform like Apple and Android.
I get kind of annoyed by the dots thing, and
you can turn it off if you wanted,
so that you don't see it, or so that no one sees it with you.
Nobody sees it with you. Yeah, like, and you both ways. Nobody would see it with you, and you see it with them. The problem is that then you are relying on the text messaging service. So the reason why we call it text messaging and multimedia messaging is because that's literally the way the name of the service for text messages. Now we're probably still going to call them text messages, but the service is going to be an RCS.
What does RCS stand for?
No idea. Rich communication service.
Okay. But ow, my hair was getting pulled by the chair. Something that happens. So multimedia service is sort of like when you are sending text messages now.
Multimedia is when you send a picture over the text message service. It uses a whole different service, actually. Right. It doesn't use the text service.
Yes. And like if you have Google Fi, you have to have your Wi-Fi or your internet turned on to be able to send one. You can't over just the phone network, the text network.
Yeah, with MMS it has to be over the data network.
And group messages are included in that, I've noticed.
Group messages, yeah, I think that they just consider it all one MMS service because it's sending out MMS.
I complain too much, I guess, about this sort of thing that's small, but I don't like that because it's annoying. Sometimes when I'm at work, I'm trying to force my phone to use the internet at work since we have Google Fi. And also, I think it's annoying that you can't have a Google Voice if you're a Google user. That feels like a
Google Fi user.
Yeah, if I'm a Google Fi user, and I wanted to get a Google Voice number for work because I don't want to be calling clients on my personal phone and then having them call me at all hours. Like, it's I'm not gonna deal with that. But I can't get a Google Voice number. And anyways,
Yep.
tangent. Don't like that.
Yeah, the reason they have a system where so people don't just buy random or get Google Voice numbers en masse. They have a system where you have to link your Google Voice to a phone number. But if that phone number is a Project Fi number, then it won't work for some reason, and I cannot
So
for the life of me figure
stupid.
out why that
Like,
would be the case.
half of mine gives me reason to leave Google Fi because I want a second phone number that's free and easy, like a Google Voice number for just calling my clients. But the fact that as a Google customer, Google is kind of punishing me for being a Google customer, it feels very anti-logic, anti-consumer. It's just whatever. But the MMS, I don't like it because then, like, when I'm on, I turn my Wi-Fi off, or whatever it's called, my mobile data I turn off, and I'm forcing it to use the Wi-Fi at work. And then, like, if we're in a group chat and someone sends a message, sometimes my phone doesn't get it, or it gets them all out of order. I don't know. It's not the best system, it seems.
So once the RCS rolls out to the majority of people, and here's the thing, this is a caveat, is the RCS message platform is only going to be working on the Google Android Messages app. It's not going to be on all apps. So if you have a Samsung phone, Samsung has its own default messaging app, and that won't get it. You have to use the Google's messaging app in order for you to get this.
The RCS, the rich communication thing.
So so if you're not doing that, you'd either have to download it, or oftentimes it might be pre-installed, but I don't think it's required for that app to be pre-installed. I think Google might end up pushing that is required to be installed after this, though, so that manufacturers like provide whatever reason. I think that they might be one of the licensing requirements for Android from in the future, is that they have that installed. These are features that are not necessarily new, because if you used Google Hangouts or WhatsApp, these kind of things already existed in those apps, but this is kind of the first big mass integration on a larger scale than an individual platform. So it'll be good. I think that overall it is objectively a better system that they use to do it, and you wouldn't run into that problem because it could be done over Wi-Fi or your data.
Or it still can't be over like text service?
No, text service is specifically just your cell service. Yeah.
Will it fix the phone calls problem, or is this just text messaging?
This is just text messaging.
All right.
The phone call problem that she's referring to is whether it uses your Wi-Fi or your data.
Do all phone companies do that?
No, most don't actually.
Oh, interesting.
So we're actually in the lucky category where we have the option to use our phone or use our Wi-Fi to make phone calls.
It can be lucky, you mean, because if you don't have good cell service, you can just use Wi-Fi that is available. But the problem that has arisen is if you are on a mobile network, like say I'm in my car on the phone, and then I get home and it tries to switch over to Wi-Fi and it messes up. Or even when I'm in my own house, if I walk too far away from the router, I've had problems with
it's not a perfect system. I've even had it so that it won't use my wireless or my Wi-Fi, even though that is a stronger connection. And it's not a perfect system. They're still working it out, but I think it's still a better.
It'll get better, and it's nice to have that option.
The last bit of tech news is the DJI Mavic Mini, which is a new drone, which is just cool. The new drone, they have it at under the weight limit of the FCC regulations, so that technically you should be able to fly that thing anywhere that's not a forbidden flight zone. and FCC really doesn't care because I think it's anything under less than 5 pounds or something like that is
basically a little bird.
Yeah, like it's not considered a personal spacecraft or whatever, flight craft, and therefore you can use it. And it takes wonderful pictures for hobbyists and people that want a cheap entrance into the drone business. Really, if you want a cheap entrance into the drone business, it's still expensive. I think they're still like $400-$500 for the combos, but that's definitely the way to go. Getting anything less than the DJI, you're not really getting a true drone experience anyways. Like you're just it's kind of like a gimmick at that point, which doesn't really help advance anything.
Yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, the DJI Mavic, people are saying it's great. The Mavic Mini, people are saying it's great, and
interesting at any rate. Perhaps someday we'll go on, but
yeah, we have the Spark, and I mean we like the Spark. It's been really great.
Yeah.
But that is all.
All right.
Thank you guys for watching this week, and if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe.
And we will see you on the next one.
See you on the next one, guys.
Mm-hmm.